Yes, let's make sure you click. Oh, yes. And then you, yes. Okay, let's resume.
Hi guys, DeeSims here and welcome back to the channel. And today I bring to you another decorating video. So today we are building the emergency housing that we used in the latest episode of San Antonio. And basically I'm calling this like my first family home because it's literally a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, and it's just like perfect for your starter family or your family to be. So yeah, I wanted to share it. And I did something a little unorthodox. I talked about it in yesterday's video. I basically already have, you guys have already seen the house. So in the last episode of San Antonio, which was episode number, is it 7 or 8? I think it's episode 8 or 7, one of them. But it's titled Moving Out Emergency Teen Housing. We've already showcased this house and you guys have already seen it, but if you haven't, now you can watch the build. So we built majority of this on Twitch. If you ever want to see us, building and stuff like that, there link to my Twitch and everything, all the information's in the description down below. Always, it is free to join. You just got to make a little Twitch account and we just be vibing over there, having a good time. But I did say in yesterday's episode that we pretty much was going to be talking about San Antonio and giving our little tea about yesterday's episodes, and I have so many comments that we can like go through and see and all that good stuff. So we are going to do that in this video. But before we get to that, let me just say this is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. It has a cute little kitchen. It has a nice like sectional in the living room. The garage that you see us building right here, we actually do something that looks way better than the generic garages we have in the game. And all of that will be coming up really soon. We have a basement that is pretty much just like, it holds like your basement items. I have like a little home improvement set. So it's like a hot water heater down there and like some pipes and all that kind of stuff. The garage can definitely be converted into a work area or an extra bedroom. You can pretty much use the garage for anything. In the series, we are converting the garage into a gaming room or like a gaming office for Antonio since he is a streamer. So that's the details about the house. It's on a 30 by 20 lot in Willow Creek. And what I did was I used the neighborhood where Bob Pancakes and them live, and I cleared all of it out, and I pretty much pasted this house in all 4 of those sections. There's a 20 by 15. So we did a little bit of downsizing of the house, but we basically placed it in that neighborhood to look like a community, because what we're doing in my series is we're turning this little area into a teen, like emergency teen housing. It's part of a program that helps troubled teens who need housing and families and stuff like that. So it's all for like teen parents and stuff. So we just made this look like a little community, and on the 40 by 30 lot that's in this world, that's across the street from where we're building, is like a little community park and stuff like that. So yes, but let's talk about San Antonio a little bit, because we have like over 70 comments on the video so far. And you guys are loving the series, and I am too. I talked about we're going to be pausing her pregnancy and stuff so we can do a little bit more pregnancy stuff. And now that my good sis has accepted her pregnancy, we're definitely about to live it up. But first thing I'm going to talk about is graduation, because I'm hearing so many different things about graduation. Like, I'm really confused on what we should do, because I should have cut all of this out of the video because we really don't even need it. Anywho, graduation is just, I'm just confused because I have education overhaul mod in my game, and everyone's saying that they can graduate as teenagers and still attend the cap and gown ceremony. But then there's a ton of people saying that they have to age up to young adults to graduate from high school, which I think is so freaking weird. But it definitely sounds like a Sims 4 thing, because I kind of remember college, something similar. Like it was completely weird. But I did see people say like people have had it in their game that they only can get the ceremony if they're young adults, which I think is weird. So my question is, how do we trigger graduation with the education overhaul mod? Because right now they currently have the grades to graduate a deep indigo, or at least commented on the Patreon post asking, like, how do you trigger graduation? But y'all, I really don't know, because I do feel like the graduate early option that does come up is the one that they don't get the ceremony. So would you guys be upset if they didn't have a ceremony? I know I wouldn't, because there's so many other things they need to do. Like, I do want them to have, like, maybe we'll just have like a party or something. But girl, why can't we have a ceremony and be teenagers and still remain teens? I don't get it. Like, why did The Sims make it so you have to be a young adult to graduate high school? That makes no sense, like, at all. I don't get it. But girl, moving on. That was one of the main things I wanted to ask, because I just need clear clarification. Maybe I'm just gonna have to load up a test save or something, because this is absolutely insane. Next, y'all, the soup maker. Wasn't that cute? Somebody just left y'all a soup maker. We don't know who it was from. So yeah, let's talk on that a little bit. So Auntie Joyce was definitely upset with Antonio and Sakari just by their decision making. I'm not saying that she's mad that they're like living their life or whatever. It's just like, you guys have made so many decisions that are not the best, you know? Like, you've made so many decisions that has already altered their lives, where they are gonna have to grow up early and all these kind of things. Like, pregnancy on top of that is, you know, it's kind of like her last straw. I feel like also Auntie Joyce has been in the family for a long time, since Robbie was a teenager, and now her kids are still, you know, but she loves them and she loves her family. Someone had made a comment a long time ago in Sarabi's series that they feel like Auntie Joyce was a person who was never able to have children. So like, taking in Sarabi and then, you know, becoming the godparent of her children kind of like filled that need she's always wanted of having a child and stuff like that. And I always thought, after I read that, I always felt that way with Auntie Joyce. So she just, you know, she's really involved. She really cares about them. And that's why she's kind of the mediator of the family, because Sarabi can just be like, you know what, I'm done. And then Saka, as we see, will just up and leave. Like, Saka literally has not talked to Sakari since he found out about her being married. So he's kind of like washed his hands with his own daughter because of her decisions and stuff, even though he didn't make the best decisions when he was a teenager as well. But we won't get into that, I guess, Saka. So Auntie Joyce is really that mediator, and I kind of feel like she was at her wit's end with Antonio and Sakari, just because they were like, it was like day after day, week after week, they were just doing something. And y'all know Auntie Joyce, when Sarabi was going through this little phase, Auntie Joyce was like, look, I'm gonna give you your time, because what we're not about to do is this. Y'all know once Sarabi was going through her little phase when she wanted like revenge with Lena and all that kind of stuff, and she was like partying and all that kind of, you know, Auntie Joyce just wasn't with it. So I kind of feel like she kind of had that same thing with Sakari. She's like, look, you guys broke the rules, and one thing you're gonna do is follow these rules, because Auntie Joyce gave them a big handout, a furnished apartment, you know, like when you already being disrespectful and rebellious and all. Auntie Joyce went out her way. So of course it may have sucked to take the apartment away, but you got to teach them, you know, you can't just keep giving them everything, because then they'll never learn. They'll never know what it feels like, you know, to get a reward from all your hard work and stuff like that. So Auntie Joyce had to pull the plug. But I wanted to add in the soup maker. So it's like, you know what? I love you. You're hard-headed and you bad, but I still love you, you know? And I kind of feel like that's what happened. And it was super, super cute. If you haven't watched the episode, definitely go watch it, because we doing spoilers this whole time. Someone said that they wish that Wyatt could move in for a little while, especially when the babies come to help out. And it kind of read my mind. I already commented on it. I was like, you read my mind. I do plan on having Wyatt, you know, come over, stay for a weekend or something like that. Not necessarily move in completely, but definitely stay for a little while. I also wanted to see about Sarabi even, you know, coming to stay a little while, because, you know, they will need help, especially in the beginning. And then we also don't know about infants and like what that means and everything that comes with them. Oh my goodness. But I do know, if we do get the infant update really soon, they will be infants for a while, just because I want to see everything that's with that life stage and just want to explore it. I know people are going to be making mods and just things to make everything feel realistic. So just know that she will have infants for a while. Like, they will be here for a minute. And then of course we'll go to toddlers and all. I just want to see what everything means. Like, I'm so excited about this update. I always get super, super excited for gameplay, like fully gameplay family type stuff, because that's what we do here. You know, we play our families, we play our drama, and I just love it. So I really want to get every little bit out of that, out of the new update. I don't know, like, everyone's talking about I've talked about this in my live stream. Everyone's saying that there is a live stream plan for January 31st. They announced it in that little like tweet that they did, the tweet video. It was like, there's going to be a community live stream, and somebody had made the point that they always do a community live stream either before the update goes live or right when it goes live to showcase the new stuff, and everybody thinks it's going to be infants. And if that's the case, that means next Tuesday we can have the infant update, and I really want to get a lot of this stuff done before then. I don't want her to have the babies yet, but there are, now that she's accepted her pregnancy, there's so much I want to do. I talked about this in an episode. I want to do a baby shower. I want to do a pregnancy photo shoot. I kind of want to do, like, they need to start getting the nursery ready. They know that they're having 3 girls, and it's a lot that needs to come with it. But then I'm like, what if they added so much stuff that you need for infants? Like, oh, I'm just so excited. But Antonio has to get up on the streaming because Nubu Baby is expensive. If you don't know what Nubu Baby is, it is a baby store that I made in The Sims because I always want to go to a store to buy a crib or a rocking chair or something, just something realistic when having kids. So I made Nubu Baby, and Nubu Baby is not cheap, girl. It is definitely not cheap. And I really want them to go and start getting the nursery together. I kind of want it to be like a little bit of a process. So I want it to be kind of realistic where, like, maybe they start cleaning and maybe they just get the cribs first and then later they get other stuff. So there's so much that needs to get done. The nursery, the photo shoot, the baby shower. She is going to her ultrasound appointment next episode. There's been an update with Panda Sama's realistic childbirth mod where they can go to the hospital and get their ultrasound and just like do like a little checkup on the babies. We already did our official ultrasound that showed us the genders and everything, but there's so many different ultrasound pictures, and we can get one with all 3 of the girls in it, and I really, really want to do it. So we're gonna do that. And there's just so much I want them to do. I really need to get this graduation though, because one of the rules with the series was no one will get a job until after they graduate. And everyone's like, oh, Antonio needs to be a streamer. You just go ahead and get him the job. But I'm trying to stick to our rules, which were no job until graduation. Like, they can do odd jobs for money. They can have them they can do whatever they want to do on the side to get money, but there's no job in their job panel until they graduate. So I definitely need to do a little test file just to see, like, what the heck do I do? It's so crazy. Also, what was I about to say? Dang, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, let me keep going through the comments. Yeah, everybody's talking about this graduation and how it's just not working. Oh, somebody, I think it's Nom Jordan or Nome Jordan. They were saying how when they were growing up, they work for a nonprofit, or not when they growing up, that's me. They work for a nonprofit that helped like people in need and gave homes to troubled teenagers or just young people who needed help. And they would go around and they would volunteer at like expo centers and stuff, and like decorate for Christmas. And it's crazy that that person said that, because when I was growing up, I definitely was a part of something like that. Every holiday season, we would go and we would decorate like the centers, the expo centers, and the big like not stadiums, but like, what do you call a convention center? I guess, especially in DC, they're like convention centers and big halls or whatever. And we would decorate them, and It will be from like low income families, you know, giving them holiday dinners, and the kids, you know, doing like, you adopt a kid at church. We used to do that all the time. You adopt a family from church and you provide for them. And it's crazy because that's how I grew up. Like, I was one of those people who went to those expo centers with the, you know, my family. And it's crazy that she mentioned that, because that's the reason I did the emergency housing in the first place. Just like personal experiences and just witnessing that. And then also, like, you know, growing up, we did a lot of volunteer work with the church, and especially around the holidays, it was just so volunteer heavy. And it's just crazy because, like, when they mentioned it, I'm like, that's the reason that I went for this. That was the first thing that came into my mind. And someone else had also made a comment like, oh, they thought that the houses were going to be a little run down, because it's kind of like Section 8 housing and stuff like that. But one thing I do remember, just from like friends and stuff, is like emergency housing, Section 8 housing is not always run down. There are some, don't get me wrong, and they can be a little run down and stuff, but some of them are really, really nice. Like, if you get your voucher and you get you a place that accepts your voucher, girl, you can get you a really nice house. So that's what I was going with. Also, a lot of my LPs have been like starting with rundown nothings, and we wanted to do something a little bit different, which was give them this house. But to justify, they're not staying in this house forever. This is only while they're teenagers. Once they age up to young adults, you know, they're gonna have to find their own place. Hopefully by that time they saved up some money and all that kind of good stuff. So maybe their next house probably won't even be this nice, depending on what they have and how much money they saved up. But for right now, they're in a nice setting for the birth of their children and to grow, you know, as much as they can while they're here. But yeah, that comment really touched me, because that's why I do a lot of the stuff that I do in my Let's Plays are from personal experiences, or just like things that I've witnessed or been a part of or something like that. And this one was definitely one, like the emergency housing for teenagers. I've had so many friends, teen friends, who needed to move into emergency housing. You know, I didn't always have a house. Like, it's just, you know, personal things. So that comment was like, oh, it hurt. It touched my heart. It pulled at my little heartstrings. What else? I'm trying to look through this. This home will be on my Patreon. A lot of people are asking that. Yes, it will be on my Patreon. I'm trying to put it up January 28th. We just uploaded the Cranky Crabs to my Patreon. That was in episode 15 of Racks to Riches But We're Parents. And I'm happy to say I actually have some custom food specifically for the Cranky Crab coming. So I'm so excited about that. So in love with my LPs right now on my channel. I'm really working on getting Meet the Bentleys back season 2, because we're going to be, let me tell you why season 2 is not here yet, or why it's not, you know, consistent. Just because I felt like there was a lot of teen content on the channel. And let's be real, they have 3 teenagers in that house and they have 2 businesses, you know, like I felt like it was going to be too much teen content and I didn't want it to be too repetitive. And now we have Racks to Riches. That's pretty much like a dine out series now. We have this series, which is still our drama teen parent series. And now I'm feeling a little bit comfortable bringing back Meet the Bentleys, because we can focus on teens doing whatever. You know, the biggest thing they're about to do right now is go on vacation. I found them a vacation home that they're going to be at, and a ton of different activities. But I just didn't want too much repetition. And we love Meet the Bentleys. Don't get me wrong. We love Meet the Bentleys, but y'all know me. I love to bring new stuff to the channel. But I feel like now we can go back to Meet the Bentleys and kind of focus on the teenagers a little bit and what they're trying to do. I did say at the beginning of season 2, I wanted it to be more business focused. But again, we do have businesses and stuff. I don't know. I definitely want that. I definitely want to experience the entire family of Meet the Bentleys, but there's a lot of kids and it's a lot of family content. I am a family LP streamer, content creator, YouTuber, simmer. So it makes sense, but I just didn't want too much repetition. But I kind of feel comfortable now that we can, you know, kind of like get through it without, you know, without like it being too repetitive. Hopefully this new update, maybe even the expansion, will add more to the series. I know someone asked me if I was going to do the 100 baby challenge with the infant update. Girl, we technically already doing it. Okay, we 3 in, because I did not expect that 3 babe. I'm still heartbroken about that. Y'all was like, D, your game is cursed. My game is beyond cursed, y'all. Like, I don't even know. I had MC Command Center. She had a tag to not get pregnant. Sis still got pregnant. Game hates me. Hates me. Somebody said one of the restrictions in the house should be that they can't have pets, but I'm not gonna do that because you have emotional support animals, and that's what I was thinking. I think that was a story of one of the families that I downloaded and put in the neighborhood. So like I said, I put this house, I pasted it like 4 different times in the same neighborhood. One of the families has a dog and it's emotional support animal. So I didn't want to say that that was a restriction because they get help, you know, and I like it. So everyone is saying that this episode was perfect. Like, it was so cute. It was so like perfect. Like, Antonio was determined to, you know, get his family together, defend his wife. He was not playing with Auntie Joyce or Sarabi about them yelling at her and being disappointed in her. Like, at the end of the day, it may not be ideal for them, but she is married. She has a husband who is dedicated to her and like who loves her. And he was just not having them yell at her. Like, if we are being honest, Sakari was way better off than Sarabi. Sarabi ran away. She ain't applied for no program. She was sleeping on the ground on her little cardboard. And Auntie Joyce was like, let me get this child some soup. Like, Sakari was definitely, you know, better off. But at the end of the day, Sakari got a lot of handouts. Like, Sarabi worked for everything. I mean, when we were playing Runaway Teen Pregnancy, Sarabi was like ditching her friends to paint and sell at the art gallery, and she got recognized by her art and was really like paying the bills with that easel, honey. Like, sis was working non-stop, whereas Sakari got an apartment from her godmother and her mother. And you know, now I feel like they're in a situation where they need this house. Now they're in emergency housing. Like, Sarabi had to pay them bills, make sure the water was on, like had to deal with Saka and Lena's drama. Like, Sarabi had it bad, but Sakari did have a little bit of help. You know, Sarabi didn't really have help, but Sarabi also ran away. Like, she could have possibly had some help, but you know, she ran away. But it's crazy. I know everybody is in love with this house. I love it so much. It is definitely what I love for families. I love pops of color. I just think it's so important for kids to be around color and like just see different things, because I feel like if everything is all beige or white or, you know, I just feel like it's not as fun. I love seeing kids in their cute little outfits in a colorful house in The Sims. I think it's from when I was little. I used to play Sims 2 all the time. That's what I used to do for my families. Like, their house would just be so inviting and bubbly. And like, maybe because I didn't have that growing up. Like, we didn't have a whole like painted walls and everything. Like, we lived in apartments. You couldn't do all that. So like, I feel like I just like to do that a lot in my houses. I don't know. Maybe it's a lot of my childhood coming out in this LP, just like it did in freaking Single Father. I don't know. I just love them so much. And I love how Antonio goes so hard for Sakari. But let me also talk about how I'm loving how the mods in my game are really shaping the gameplay. Y'all know, like, I love I go with what my game goes with. If my game gives me something, we're going with it. And some of the mods like people are creating are so realistic. Like, her finally accepting her pregnancy as they move into the new house, and she's doing these things. She's going to programs, she's buying stuff for the baby. Like, she's talking to her mom about it, she's talking to Antonio's about it. Like, it just worked. Like, everything was so freaking perfect. I couldn't even ask for a better episode. Like, it was so good. And then like when they were all mad at her, Sarabi like crying, or Auntie Joyce crying, like everything has been working out so perfectly. It's really been shaping the story, and I'm for that. I love when mods help me out with storylines, because look, I've been making up storylines for a long time, and sometimes it can get a little stale, you know what I mean? So to see these mods like really helping the game and making it feel realistic is so beautiful. I love it so much. But yes, a lot of you guys was loving Antonio's setup in the garage, his gaming PC. I really want to deck that garage out. Like, I cannot wait for him to be making some buku dollars and crazy bucks, just because I want to put neon lights all around. I want him to be able to stream. I want him to have console set up, a computer set up. I just want it to look so good. And I want him to have a mini fridge and all his little stuff. And then when the baby comes, there's no babies allowed. Like, no babies can come in there. Only Sakari and him. Like, they got their little love seat in there so they can go down there and cuddle. Because for some reason, they cannot cuddle on couches, or sectionals, I should say. And I hate that feature so much. Like, it's a sectional. It should still function as a 3-seater or a love seat or whatever. I cannot. I hate it so much. Someone says, when are we going to tell Saka that she's pregnant? And I think someone in my live stream has said she should tell him after she gives birth. But like, I feel like her relationship with her father will be very in the red. Don't y'all think? Because he basically disowned her when she was getting married, or she got married to Antonio. He didn't know him or anything like that. Like, he was also kind of fed up with him because Wyatt and Sakari were wild. They had to stay with him for a weekend and they were wild. But boy, it was a weekend. Sarabi has to have them kids every day. She deals with that every day. He couldn't do it for a weekend. And then he just kind of wiped his hands with her. He was like, I'm done with you. I can't even look at you. And then he just left. And we haven't seen him. Like, he hasn't called her or anything. Hasn't stopped by. Nothing like that. And their relationship is in the green. Like, it's still good in The Sims. But like I said, you know how the game plays, how it plays. So you know how parents call and be like, hey, you forgot about your mom. I raised you. I miss you and stuff like that. And then, or they'll just stop by or invite you to something. Saka has not called her child, like, at all. At least Sarabi has popped up downstairs at the apartment or knocks on the door. Wyatt comes over all the time. Like, Saka is kind of like done, you know? So don't y'all think we should put their relationship in the red? Like, what do y'all feel about Saka? So we got 2 questions. One is the graduation question. Like, what the heck do we do? And 2, what do y'all feel about Saka? I feel like, oh God, we had this same conversation about Saka in Sarabi's series. Because Saka he could just be a bad person. Like, he's all for supporting Lena and Olive. But like, what about your kids, you know? I mean, Olive is his kid. But like, what about your other children? He's horrible sometimes. He really is. And they know his parents, their grandparents. They don't come around at all either. It's like my game knows, you know, like, they know Saka's mom and dad, and they really don't come around. We invite them to, like, if they have a party or whatever, we always invite them, but they never call to check on them or send them party invites or anything like that. Like, that side of their family, the dad side, just don't mess with the kids. And that's why Wyatt was having such a hard time in the beginning of Young Years. It's because he knew what happened at their school that they went to with Lena and Saka and Sarabi, but no one's ever talked about it. No one's ever addressed it. You know, Sarabi and Saka went to therapy. They were going to try to make it work. And then out of the blue, Lena was pregnant and she was like, I'm not doing that, and got up and left and moved to the farm. And then they moved back because she wanted them to be in better schools. And then Saka they only saw Saka when Sarabi was like, if you don't come get these kids, I'm gonna be on the news. That was it. Like, that was literally it. I don't know. I feel like the game is saying, like, girl, Saka, you know, they're saying, like, maybe she just doesn't have a good relationship with her dad. I feel like this would affect, if I was in her shoes, this would affect me. My father just disowning me, and now, like, she's pregnant and all this kind of stuff. He's not even around. He doesn't even know. And who cares? Who knows? Or honestly, who cares how he would feel? But like, he doesn't even know. Like, he don't even talk to Wyatt. I don't know. I feel like our game is saying she's going to have a poor relationship with her father, and I think that's okay. It'll be poor on his side because sis is gonna do what she gotta do. She got 3 babies, okay? She got 3 babies. Won't got time. But you know, I don't know. Everyone is loving how Antonio had just took action and was really getting his family together, and I feel like that's how he always was. We didn't have a lot of Antonio time until he became one of the main focus of the series. But now that we see him, I feel like he's like, don't come for my family. I feel like Antonio's always wanted a family. Someone's asked me to make his family, but the truth is he doesn't have any. The only kind of family we got from him is that he stayed with his cousin who worked at that little, it was like an auto shop or like a tattoo shop or something. And he worked on cars and did tattoos. And that's how he saved up all the money to help with them moving and stuff like that. And, you know, he did his little oregano on the side, but he doesn't have family. It just kind of happens that way. I don't really want to go into depth with it. Just that he has no family except maybe his cousin. So maybe we can bring his cousin into the series and, you know, you guys get to meet the cousin. But that's pretty much it. He doesn't really have family. I don't think we need to dwell on it or kind of make up a story. That's just his story, you know? I don't know if Antonio's family will be here, but it's gonna take a village to raise this mini village that Sis about to have. But yes, we are getting close. No, are we? Oh, let me see. We got about 10 more minutes left in this video. Right now we're doing the bedroom. I forgot to record a little bit of this. Again, if you want to see all of this live, it is on my Twitch channel, DeeSims YT over on Twitch. Again, all the information is in the description down below. But yes, I'm ready to, I'm going to figure out this graduation thing so we can have graduation. But I think in the next part, we really do need to start looking into the nursery. And I really want Antonio to get this job. I may even look up a little bit more stuff for streaming, something like that, to see how we can enhance it a little bit. But I love what's happening. Like Antonio's like streaming, he's getting all these fans. He became a 1-star celebrity in the last episode. I think it's going well. Okay, I think it's going really well. But I did good. 32 minutes of talking. Y'all know I don't talk over build videos, but I did promise we was gonna talk a little bit about Santonio. Don't think the drama has stopped because they moved here. Please don't. Please don't. Like now that they feel like things is a little good, they gon' still be their poor decision making selves, you know. I want to buy a jacuzzi and get a dog. Maybe we won't need no nursery. Maybe we could just get one crib, you know. See, it's already happening. It's already happening. But thank y'all so much for tuning into this. I'm so happy that you guys are loving Santonio. I'm loving it as well. Make sure y'all keep a lookout up for it on the channel, because I don't know what's going on with YouTube notifications, but sometimes it's not notifying y'all when I post. So if you're looking for a video and you didn't get a notification about it, just check the channel, because more than likely YouTube ain't tell you, girl. And if you always want to refresh, you can always click off the bell and click back on it. Make sure you're clicking all instead of like personalized or whatever, so you get all of the notifications, because people come into the stream all the time like, oh D, I didn't even know you posted an episode and da da da. I don't know what it is. Maybe I need a refresh or whatever. But yeah, make sure y'all have y'all notification bells on. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video because it helps the channel so much. And I will see y'all real soon. Remember to stay beautiful, stay lovely, stay in the house, and have a grand day. Bye, guys.
She's putting all of her cards down on the table, knowing there's no way that you'll be able to win this wrong. But she's somebody else in the making. First, she just gotta stop all the faking, and she'll be there. But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like this forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. Somebody said, don't be afraid of loving yourself, 'cause that is all you got. she's wondering if it's gonna feel like this forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. Talking to myself, cause I don't know what I want. Yeah, I'm here talking to myself like someone's gonna respond. I'm getting tired of myself, cause I don't know what I want. But I'm not out here on my own. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that'll make her feel better? Make her feel better. And that's where she'll go. 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 Talking to myself, I don't need you. I don't need you. Yeah. I need a new apartment, my own safe haven, and not the dump you live in. I don't need you, cause I got high ambitions, a boss vision. I'm granting all my wishes. I don't need you, cause you've been blocking me and you've held me back from day one. Always kept me down so I couldn't fly on my own. Used to think that being single was being alone. Now I know I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need you. Yeah. I make my own decisions, my lifelong mission, releasing inhibitions. I don't need you to come crawling back to me, to tell me that you're sorry. I'm better now, I'm happy. I don't need you, cause you've been blocking me and you've held me back from day one. Always kept me down so I couldn't fly on my own. Used to think that being single was being alone. Now I know I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need you. Yeah. I'ma go out, I'ma dance now. Raise a glass to being alone. You can stop me, you can reach me, cause I'm too high to fuck on. I don't